Hi everyone, I just wanted to talk to you about the habits of mind that I learned throughout this course. I used a number of different habits of mind throughout this course. I thought the habits of mind weren't going to be that useful at the very beginning of the class, but I realized very fast that this was wrong because they have strongly benefited me. After going through a couple of assignments, I realized and learned how valuable they have been and continue to be even in my own personal life. I have learned a lot using the habit of mind because they have taught me how to look at cultures and literacy in a whole new light. I was able to get a different perspective by really focusing in on many of the habits of mind used for various assignments. At the beginning of the course, we were asked to pick 3 habits of mind that we really wanted to hone in on and focus on and to learn more about. So my 3 that I had chosen was persisting, managing impulsivity, and listening to others while displaying empathy. I really feel like I did a good job internalizing these habits of mine throughout the course. I really learned a lot about each one and tried to apply them to each assignment that I was learning at the time. Persisting is a habit of mine that I seem to use a lot throughout this class. This class was very fast-paced because it was a summer course. It was something that I hadn't been used to in the past. So it made me stay hard at work throughout the summer so far. I really had to push myself to stay on top of all these assignments because I wanted to do well. And every time I got a little frustrated or felt like I couldn't do it, I would think about this habit of mine because I knew it was in me. I knew I wanted to do well. So I just kept telling myself, you can do it, self-motivation, self-talk. I kept telling myself to keep persisting and to keep working hard. I'm really glad I allowed myself to nurture this habit of mine because if not, I don't know if I would be doing so well or I would be this far in the class. Managing impulsivity was another habit of mine I used a lot throughout this class. Why I used it, the reason I used it and I became so connected with it is because I had to stay organized and I had to create a plan each week for this class. I had to manage my time well. I had to decide, how much time am I going to need for homework? How much time am I going to need for actual, work? How much time do I need for other things? So I really had to create that plan and utilize it. The plan I created included, what I would have time for, what I wouldn't have time for, what was important, what wasn't so important. This really helped me to put everything into sequence and to take action when needing it. It kept me really organized and on track with everything. My last initial habit of mind that I used, and I found myself actually using it the most, was listening to others while displaying empathy. This habit of mine I used the most when learning about other cultures. I found it to be very helpful. I felt like if I tried to step into their shoes and see life as they were portraying it or as it was trying to be portrayed, I could understand them more. I could see their cultures, their traditions, everything that was more important to them. It really helped me a lot to understand them. I used this skill while working on the group project as well. There's quite a few people in my group project and very little time to get things done, so we had to I had to listen to all of them and take into account their needs and their wants. We did this by picking a topic. I wanted everyone to be connected to it, everybody on the same page, and then we had to discuss the breakdown of the PowerPoint and who was going to do what part and everything like that. So it became more of a collaboration and a group project. It wasn't just one individualized answer on everything or idea on everything. It was everyone coming together and really using everybody's ideas and teamworking it. So I really nurtured this habit of mine because I wanted to stay respectful to the cultures as well while I was learning about them. And I really plan on using this in my classroom because I feel like my students and myself could benefit from this because I'll be able to understand their background more and their traditions, and I will have an open mind about that. Another habit of mine that I came across using that I didn't necessarily set out to use was thinking interdependently. I use this habit of mine while learning about the different home visit programs. It takes a number of individuals to create an effective program like this, and you don't usually always think about that, but it takes a team of people to create something like that. This habit of mine made me realize the importance of teamwork, like in our group project, And if there's no teamwork, things can't be created and implemented. Without the other people's ideas and everything like that, you don't really have an outcome that you're proud of. So that's how I use that habit of mine. Another habit of mine I used was thinking flexibly. I use this while learning about the nested strategies. I think it might be one of the most important habits because it really taught me how to keep an open mind, how to be open, how to, accept other ideas and everything like that. Once I really internalized this concept, I felt like I understood different cultures more and in a better way. This allowed me to keep an open mind, and I'm willing to accept new ideas and theories that I had never thought of before. I'm definitely going to apply this habit of mine to my daily life because I feel like it will help me understand people better and their traditions. We'll have more of an understanding to one another. Another habit of mine I used was questioning and posing problems. I used this habit of mine while learning about effective ways to teach children how to read and write, and about shared reading. This habit of mine is extremely useful because it's important to form a question and answer that question with research to back it up. I found this a lot in the textbook. I would see that the author would pose a question, and instead of just saying, answering it with a guess, they would actually conduct research, and they would really go in depth with it, and then they would have the research to back up their answer. It helped me learn the value behind backing up a theory or problem with research. And this type of field, it's very crucial to back up your thoughts and theories with research and not just to take a guess. Taking a guess will not help anyone else out in life because you won't have concrete data to show the effects of something or the consequences of something. Knowing the research behind the subject will enhance your learning and understanding on that subject. This has already come into play for me, and I found it very useful. The main thing I took from these habits of mine are being extremely important and useful tools in life. They're extremely important and useful tools in life. They should really be embraced and nurtured. I plan to take these habits of mine into my next classes, of course, when I'm doing my next assignments, and definitely into my classroom, into my profession. They will benefit me and help me to learn more about my students and their cultures. I'm really excited to start using them in real world situations, and I've already begun to do so. So thank you so much.